Hi everyone and welcome back to another TIA Portal tutorial. In the previous video we learned some move operations in TIA Portal like simple move, serialize and deserialize. Today I'm going to talk about other operations including fill block, scatter, gather and swap. The first move operation in this video is fill block. It's similar to move, but with a fill block we will fill the output with the value of the input. For example, here we have a fill block with 2 as input, 3 as a constant and an output array consisting of 6 bytes. If I activate the enable, this function will copy the hex number 2 in all 3 blocks starting from the array index 1. So the output will be like this. Let's try this in TIA Portal. Insert the operation, create a data block, inside the DB create an array variable, a contact for enable input. Input was 2. Count is 3. Select the array. Start the simulation. Activate the operation. As you see now, 2 is copied to all 3 array indices starting from index 1. Uninterruptible fill block is exactly like the fill block. The only difference is that, as I explained in the video part 1, uninterruptible operations cannot be interrupted by any interrupt OP. In other words, interrupt OP cannot stop this move until the move is completed. The next operation is the scatter. Sometimes we need to extract the bit status from data and save them in another variable. For example, here we want to save the bits of MB23 in an array of Boolean. We can do this in TIA Portal with scatter. Input can be byte, word, and double word. With 1500 PLCs, it can be also long word. Inside the data block, create a variable for input and an array of Boolean for output. Output must have exactly the number of elements of the input. It means for the input byte, we must create an array with 8 elements. For word, 16 and double word, 32 elements. Let's start the simulation. As you see, now 101 is parsed to bits and saved in an array. Next, we have scatter block. This operation is like scatter, but the input must be an array, and we will extract the values inside the elements of this array. The second difference with the scatter is that we can specify how many elements and starting from which one we want to parse the data into a Boolean array. Let's create an array of bytes for our input and an array of Boolean for the output. I want to parse 2 bytes of the input starting from the second one. And save the bit values in the output array starting from the third Boolean. Let's define a start value for the bytes. The first 2 bits are 0 because we selected to save data from the third element. Then we have 101, exactly like the output of scatter. And then 2 in binary format. Let's change one of the values. That's it. In this way, the scatter block in TIA Portal extracts bits from the byte, word, double word, and long word array and saves them in a Boolean array structure or PLC data type. Alright, let's talk about gather and gather block. These operations do exactly the opposite of scatter and scatter block. We use scatter and scatter block to parse the input value to individual bits in the output. But gather and gather block can be used to merge individual bits into a byte, word, double word, or long word. Insert a gather operation. I'm going to use a contact as enable. To better understand how gather and scatter work, I'm going to use the output of scatter as input for gather. Create a variable of byte for the output. download the changes. Our input for scatter was 101. Activate the scatter operation. Now this output is input for the gather operation. Let's activate the gather operation. As I explained, we expect 101 in output. 101 in hexadecimal format in output. If you change the display format, the operation will show you this number in decimal format. Gather block is also like gather. Like what I did for gather, I'm going to use the output of scatter block as input for the gather block. With count out, we specify how many elements of the output array are going to be written. And an array for the output. Let's activate first the scatter block operation. Now this is the input for our gather block. We will merge these bits starting from the third elements into the output in 2 bytes. As you see, the second and third bytes of input scatter block and output gather block are the same. Let's change the values. And finally, the last move operation is swap. We can use this instruction in TIA to change the order of bytes at input in and write the new values in output. In this example here, we have a word consisting of 2 bytes. This value in hexadecimal format is 1456. If we give this value to a swap operation, the order of the bytes will be changed like this. And the new value will be 5614 in hexadecimal format. Let's insert it into our program. As you see, this operation works just with data types word and double word. Define 2 variables for output and input. Modify the input. You see at the output the bytes are changed and the new value is now 5614. Alright, with this video and the previous part, we learned all the move operations in TIA Portal. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions about move operations, feel free to ask it in the comments. See you next video, friends. Bye.